Any other questions about how to determine a neighborhood? So just to kind of recap that simply, I would recommend you choose a neighborhood near where you live, but it doesn't necessarily have to be where you live. So a neighborhood near where you live, so it's not far away, so you do know the area, so you speak knowledgeable to it. Go into the MLS, search for sold homes in the past 365 days, and then look at how many homes have sold versus how many homes are in the neighborhood. And if it's 6% or over, then you've got a good neighborhood. Honestly, if it's 5% or over, you probably have a good neighborhood. There's a lot of homes selling, a lot of opportunity. Okay? Now, what you guys need to do is determine what your plan is. So what is your plan? So what I would recommend in a best case scenario is that you guys try to find ways to touch your farm 2 times a month. 2 different touches per month. Now, this is especially going to be easier if you start with a smaller group of homes, like 500 homes, because just one open house with signs set up around the neighborhood all weekend long, you're probably going to catch most people. So even one open house with flyers on all the homes and your open house, you're going to catch most of those people. Now, keep in mind, if you're not going to go do flyers for 500 homes, but you want to touch every single home every month, then you need to have 5 different open houses that month with 100 flyers each at different doors each time. Does that make sense? So you need to find a way to get to every door every single month at least, and ideally twice, or else you're not going to be getting in front of them enough to make an impact. So what I would recommend is either you expand how many flyers you're doing, and so I'm going to do 2 open houses a month in my farm, and I'm going to hit 250 doors each time I do that open house. They're going to see my signs and they're going to get the flyer, and so I'll be able to touch that pretty much every single month. You could also just decide that instead of doing, so maybe I'm going to do 2 open houses one month, and then the next month I'm going to just create an item of value. I want people to see the homes that are selling in their neighborhood the past month because property values have gone up. Or maybe it's just a summary of, hey, did you know that home prices in our neighborhood have gone up 5% in the past year? Create some marketing piece of value and then spend the whole month getting it to every door in the neighborhood. So maybe it's, I'm going to do 100 doors a week or 125 doors a week, and I'll get to all 500. Maybe you are mailing occasionally. So maybe you are, if it's 500 homes, maybe you can get it for $300-400 and you can mail to that neighborhood. I would stray away from mailing as much as possible because it's more expensive. It is save time. So if you want to try to save time, you can do that. Another idea I mentioned was a community event. So you can go door knock, or you can go pass out flyers, or you can hang door hangers to a certain event you might be having. So maybe you're just going to have a barbecue in the park for your neighborhood, or maybe it's an Easter thing, or maybe it's a Thanksgiving thing, or whatever you're deciding to do, you could have a little event and go do that. Now, I'm a big believer that all these things are great ideas, but if you do them isolated, if you just think I'm going to go do one event and door knock the neighborhood and get deals out of it, you probably won't. The reality is all of these are not one-off marketing touches. They need to be part of a marketing campaign where you're doing something every single month to touch everyone in the farm. And so all these are great ideas. The effects of these things compound when you do something every single month. So your next step after you've chosen your farm is you're going to make a 12-month plan. Decide bare minimum, I'm going to do 1 touch every single month to all these doors. Ideally, I'm going to find a way to do 2 touches to these doors every single month. I think that, just kind of a note, traditionally farming has gone towards 2 touches per month. Now it's moved towards 2 touches a month from just 1 touch a month honestly, because I think mailers have not been as effective. So they've had to do it twice as much. I think if you're doing in-person touches, open houses, door knocking, things like that, 1 in-person touch every month is probably fine. That can probably replace 1 conversation over the phone or in person. It's probably going to replace just a marketing piece or flyer left at their door. So if you're going to go do the door knocking, then you could probably just do it once a month. A couple, so that's kind of, you're building your marketing plan. You are, you've chosen your farm. The next thing is just your mindset around the farm. So number one, like your goal should be, I'm adding value. Everything that I'm doing, I'm trying to add value to the neighborhood, to the neighbors. Because if you truly believe you're adding value, then you're not going to feel like you're being a pushy salesman. I'm not going to care if someone knocks on my door and invites me to a neighborhood movie in the park. Like I might be slightly annoyed at first, someone knocked on my door, then they invite me to that and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm not concerned about it. I think that you guys really need to have the mindset that I'm adding value. Secondarily, you really need to say, you need to really get good at the script. Our area. And so I think that you need to get really good at saying, like, hey, this is what's going on in our area. Would you like to know what homes are getting, or what's happening in our area? Would you like to know what homes are selling for in our area? You want, the whole idea of like the farming is, you want to get known in that area as that local residential expert. So Diana Kokoska gave a possible script when you're knocking on a door. This is an extremely blunt script, but I think that this is something, you could use some variation of this anytime you go and door knock. Literally tomorrow, you guys could go out and use this script. And it's essentially this. Hey, my name is Tyler Shields with Keller Williams Realty, and I specialize in this area. What do you love about this area so I can pass that along to new people that are moving into the area? Everyone wants to talk about what they love about the neighborhood. It's not very alarming. It's not very annoying. Hey, what do you love about this neighborhood? So I can pass that along to new people that are moving into this area. And then, hey, do you like to stay in touch or stay up to date on what's going on in the neighborhood, like events or homes that are getting sold, things like that? Oh, you do? Awesome. Well, I actually something I send out every month that lets you know what homes are getting sold for. I'll occasionally email out like, what neighborhoods are happening, things like that. Is that something you'd like to receive so you can stay on top of what's happening in our neighborhood? Oh, great. Okay, what's your email address? I'll get that sent over to you. Pretty soft touch just to say, hey, do you like to stay on top of what's going on in your neighborhood? Most people, the answer is yes. Okay, great. I'll send that over to you. Obviously, if you guys want to go as far as to then just ask for the business after you've disarmed them with those very soft touches, then you can do that. You can say, awesome, by the way, do you happen to know anyone right now looking to buy or sell? And if they say no, okay, great. Thanks so much for thinking about that. Let me know if you do. I'd love to help them. And that way you've covered all your bases. I've offered value. I've disarmed them with an easy question. Hey, what do you love about the area? Hey, do you want me to give you something that obviously you want? And then finally you can ask that. Do you know anyone looking to buy or sell? Oh, you don't? Okay, well, thanks so much for thinking about that. If you do come across anyone, would you mind letting me know? I'd love to help them. And then that's it. And then you can kind of transition out of that. So that's a solid door knocking script, but it could also be as simple as, it could be as simple as, hey, 123 Main Street down the street just sold, and there was a lot of interest in it. Do you know anyone else that might be interested in selling their property right now? There's a lot of people that want to buy. And so it could just be a value piece like that. It could literally just be trying to give value like, hey, did you know our HOA just updated some regulations, and so now this is true, or now you have the option of paying your HOA dues online. I'm not with the HOA. I'm just a local agent. I specialize in this area. Just want to make sure you stay on top of everything. So little things like that could also be a value touch as well. I'll give you a couple other examples of things that you can do. Example of community events. Free pictures with Santa, Easter egg hunt, community charity drive for used clothing or for coats, a spring cleaning event, sponsoring athletic team, home improvement seminars, neighborhood garage or yard sales, movie in the park, kind of lots of different things. Items of value you can give them, sold cards, proof of success pieces. Hey, I just sold this house. Free home equity updates, like, hey, here's what your home is worth. Here's how our neighborhood equity has increased. The inside scoop about the neighborhood trends and news. discount coupons for various vendors you work with. If you guys have an HOA, even if you don't, if you guys simply are just a part of your Nextdoor app for your neighborhood, and then if there's either a neighborhood Facebook group or if there's like a newsletter that goes out, you'll have enough information about what's going on in the neighborhood to be able to give updates or news to people. Hey, I'm not sure if you knew this, but this thing happened. It got sent out, and maybe it got sent on the newsletter, but maybe they didn't read the newsletter or whatever. So you can stay on top of what's happening with stuff like that. Questions about that piece? Okay. I'm gonna end with 3 quick tips to dominate a farm quickly. So first of all, if you really want to dominate a farm quickly, you got to know the inventory. You have to know every time a home comes on the market, you should be previewing it. You should be looking at it. Homeowners come and go, but that home is going to stay there for years to come. You need to know as much about the inside as the outside. Make notes after previewing it. Put it in your farm folder. Set yourself up on a search on the MLS for your neighborhood. Anytime something gets listed for your farm, anytime something gets listed, go take a look at it. Go bring your family. Like we go on walks all the time, and I'll see a home for sale, and I'll look it up, HomeSnap, I'll schedule a showing. We'll go take a look at it. Stay on top of it. Stay on top of what's selling. So know your inventory. If you know your inventory and what's selling, you're going to be an expert. You're going to come across professionally in that area. Second, as soon as a new homeowner moves in, you should be there first with a welcome to the neighborhood basket of goodies. Maybe from a local shop, maybe you just bake some cookies, you want to give them to them. But we've talked about this in the past. Like, most of these people are orphaned clients, meaning they had a buyer's agent that helped them buy. There was a listing agent that sold that house. Maybe you did neither side. Who cares, because they're in your neighborhood now. And so you're going to go and welcome them. Hey, welcome so much to the area. You probably don't know me, but I'm the local real estate expert here in Governor's Ranch or Foothills Green or wherever you guys are at. And so just wanted to welcome you. Here's some cookies. Here's my card. Here's some information, some helpful hints, whatever information you might find helpful for the neighborhood. Maybe it's here's the local parks. Here's the great restaurants here locally we love. Whatever it is, give them that information. So same thing. When you have yourself set up on what homes are getting sold, you can also set yourself up on what homes are getting listed. You can also set yourself up for what homes are getting sold. So the moment a home sells, you could, like, a week later, go knock on the door and welcome them to the neighborhood. Third, the third tip for quick domination of a farm, the first is know the inventory. The second is welcome every new owner. And the third, quick domination comes from having a plan and following it religiously. You got to outwork and outservice the competition to succeed. Like all areas of lead sources, plan ahead, know your budget, know not just your money budget, but your budget for your time and your energy. Like really anything in real estate, consistency is key. If you guys make your plan and you execute on it, there's no reason to believe that you wouldn't be able to go dominate your market, to go get 10% of all the deals or 20% of all the deals in that area. What I've found is most neighborhoods don't really have an agent that dominates it. Occasionally there's an agent that dominates the farm, but for the most part, that's just not the case. So there's a lot of opportunity to go in there and be the known guy or the known girl in that area. So there you go. There you go. Okay, so that's my notes for prospect farming. Do you guys have any questions overall about that? Just about anything to do with a farm, prospecting in a given area, how to make sure this is successful? What are your guys' any thoughts at all?
What's been the ROI that you've seen and stuff that you've done, Tyler?
Great question.
Because it like right now it just sounds super overwhelming and cumbersome.
Yeah. So when I recommend doing prospect farming, basically I recommend spending nothing on it. So you could almost spend not what the reason do concentrate your prospecting to a neighborhood, add in some, it's in my opinion, it shouldn't take a bunch of extra work because it should just be a bunch of crap you guys are already doing, focused and funneled into one direction. So if you're already doing open houses, do them all in the same neighborhood. If you're already hanging out or having parties or having events, then do community events in this area. If you're already doing some door knocking, just do them all in the same area. So I think that the idea is just take a lot of the effort and energy you guys are already doing, sprinkle a little bit more intentionality on top of it, and basically you'll have farming. So there's no hiding that it's a lot of effort to stay on top of a farm. The beautiful thing though is it's like building a database. Like it's going to be really hard for 2 years, and then it's going to be easy to maintain after that. And you'll have a reputation that all you're doing then is maintaining. And so like it's you'll get to a point where you just have come and list my house calls, but it's going to take time to build that up. So it's similar to your sphere of influence where it takes effort, takes intentionality, but then if you do it consistently for however long, then it's something that can really stay consistent for a long time. So I know that did not directly answer your question, but
Well, that's been true for Sean.
Yeah.
In our part for sure.
Yeah.
He's definitely been just had listings fall and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when he was probably the one that had the most experience like farming on the team, and most of the stuff he did was prospect farming. So it was he'd try to do an open house or two every month. He would post just in the neighborhood Facebook group. He'd go to the neighborhood summer barbecue every year. I mean, he maybe had a touch a month, and it wasn't to every house. It was just every month I'm doing something in my neighborhood, and he probably got to the point where he was doing maybe 3 to 5 deals a year from the farm just by doing something every single month for a couple of years, something like that. So that's probably where he was at. I think you could be more intentional, you could do more and get more from it, but literally he took the very, in my opinion, like not too hard approach, which is just, I'm going to concentrate everything I'm doing anyways over here, and started to have that reaction of, hey, you knocked on my door 2 months ago and now you're knocking again. And I saw you post on the neighborhood Facebook group, and I saw you at that event last month. And so, now I'd like you to, now I'd like you to come and list my house. So there you go. So any other questions about prospect farming, dominating a farm?
How to figure out how many homes are there.
Yeah, usually you can get that from a title company. Title companies should know that. But if they don't, then I'm not sure where you would get that data.
So I just met with a gal from Capital Title.
Mm-hmm.
Her name's Nikki. She signed me up for something that's totally free, but apparently it's like a lot of money for title companies to pay for, so that's why they usually charge you, but she doesn't. So I can get her to sign up for you, and you literally just put in whatever area you want, and it pulls up all the homes and all their information. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. A lot of times there's some website or something dedicated to that neighborhood that will have that information. Like Governor's Ranch has that information online that you can just go look up. Like, oh, Governor's Ranch has 2,000 homes in this neighborhood. But title companies should have the information about turnover rate and all that too. You can say like, hey, what are some great neighborhoods in my area with 6% or more turnover rate in Southwest Littleton? And then usually like Becca even can pull that data for you and let you know. Because title companies usually are the ones, like you're paying to make the flyers and to send out. And then they're going to get the benefit of the title work if you use them for the title when you get the listing. So they're incentivized to help you with that in finding the neighborhoods. So there you go. So there you go. Well, now Natalia's here. Let's go and wrap this up.
I guess we can start.
Finish.
We
You
can
mean, yes.
finish.
Cool.
You're here.
Sorry, team.
This is awkward.
I had an appointment.
Happy birthday, Natalia.
Thanks.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. Who's on there?
35 or?
No, it's my golden birthday. 26 on 26.
Nice.
I
want it now.
Someone was like, Oh, Sean was like, that's not fair. Mine was 3. I'm like, sorry, Sean.
When I was a kid.
Yeah, right.
Mine was at 29, but I didn't really even think about it.
I didn't even know it was a thing. I literally heard it a couple months ago, and I was like, oh, mine's coming up.
There you go. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Literally.
I learned a lot.
No, you guys are here. I'm glad you learned so much.
Not joking, guys.
Did you just be? And we're wearing the same thing, it looks like.
The good news is we did record it, so you can always go back and watch it.
Yay!
Can always go back
Gigi
You can always
and I
go back
will
and watch
have
the recording.
A movie watching night.
0% that happens.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe negative.
you guys ever ask me a question about prospect farming? My answer is going to be go